First news is world leaders South Africans remember Mandela. Joyous seeing South Africans gathering in the rain Tuesday to honor Nelson Mandela at a massive memorial service that is expected to draw some 100 heads of state and other luminaries united in tribute to a global symbol of reconciliation. Crowds converged on FNB Stadium in Soweto. The Johannesburg Township that was a stronghold of support for the anti-apartheid struggle that Mandela embodied as a prisoner of white rule for 27 years, and then during a perilous transition to the all-race election that made him president. However, steady rain kept many people away. Shortly before the start of the ceremony, there were some 20,000 people in the 95,000 capacity stadium. Other area stadiums equipped with giant video screens for anticipated overflow crowds were largely empty. I would not have the life I have today if it was not for him, said Mahogano Mosage, the postgraduate marketing student who arrived hours before the stadium gates opened. He was jailed so we could have our freedom. Rohan Laird, the 54-year-old CEO of a health insurance company, said he grew up during white rule in a privileged position as a white South African, and the Mandela helped whites work through a burden of guilt. His reconciliation allowed whites to be released themselves. Laird said, I honestly don't think the world will see another leader like Nelson Mandela. Workers were still waiting at a VIP area as the first spectators arrived amid an enormous logistical challenge of organizing the memorial for Mandela, who died December 5. In his Johannesburg home at the age of 95. U.S. President Barack Obama landed South Africa early Tuesday. Besides Obama, eulogies were to be delivered by UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, Chinese Vice President Li Yongchang, and Cuban President Raul Castro. Other speakers include the President of Brazil, Namibia, and India, as well as tributes from Mandela's grandchildren. South African President Jacob Zuma was to give the keynote address. Mandela's widow, Grace Markle, was at the stadium. So were actress Charlize drum and singer Bono Tuesday was the 20th anniversary of the day when Mandela and South Africa's last apartheid era president, F.W. de Klerk, received the Nobel Peace Prize for their efforts to bring peace to their country. Mandela said in his acceptance speech at the time, we live with the hope that as she battled to remake herself, South Africa will be like a microcosm of the new world that is striving to be born. The sounds of the horns and the cheering filled the stadium ahead of the ceremony, due to start at 11 a.m. Rain sent those who arrived early into the stadium covered upper deck, and many of the floor seats were empty. People blew on vuvuzela, the plastic horn that was widely used during the World Cup soccer tournament in 2010, and sang songs from the era of the anti-apartheid struggle decades ago. It is a moment of sadness celebrated by song and dance, which is what we South Africans do, said Solis Medwork, CEO of the South African investment firm. The 95,000 capacity soccer venue was also the spot where Mandela made his last public appearance at the closing ceremony of the World Cup. After the memorial, his body will lie in state for 3 days on the Union Buildings in Pretoria, once the seat of white power, before burial Sunday in his rural childhood village of Kunu in Eastern Cape Province. Police promised tight security, locking down roads kilometers around the stadium. However, the first crowds entered the stadium without being searched. John Allen, a 48-year-old pastor from the U.S. state of Arkansas, said he once met Mandela at a shopping center in South Africa with his sons. He joked with my youngest and asked if he had voted for Bill Clinton. Allen said he just zeroed in on my 8-year-old for the 3 to 5 minutes we talked. The next news is Kobe. Lakers ready for bounce during Star's return. Kobe Bryant had the ball in his hands, and the crowd on its feet for the final possession of the first half in his comeback game. He ducked and drove, and his shot was sweated away by Toronto's DeMar DeRozan. After nearly 8 months away, Bryant was grateful to be in position to take such a shot for the Los Angeles Lakers, even if it was rudely handed back to him. With his 18th NBA season finally underway, Bryant is confident he will get past his opening week jitters and shake knees while his teammates figure out how they fit around him. It's the uncertainty of knowing how it's going to take, Bryant said after a light workout Monday at the Lakers training complex. In between timeouts, in between quarters, halftime, how is it going to feel? Is it going to stiffen? There's always that uncertainty. It just takes time, and Brian will go back to work Tuesday night against Phoenix in his second game back from a torn Achilles tendon. Also, he couldn't immediately step into his customary role as the Lakers' dominant player. Coach Mike D'Antoni realized the Lakers' fortunes are tied to the five-time NBA champion guard, particularly in a transitional season for the long dominant team. We know, and everybody knows, he's got to be the closer, D'Antoni said, and as soon as we can get him there, the more times he's in the position, he will get closer to doing it. Brian had 9 points on 2 for 9 shooting, with 8 rebounds and 8 turnovers over 28 minutes in his season debut Sunday night, unable to spark a comeback in the Lakers' 106 against 94 loss to the depleted Raptors. Brian ripped himself at the loss, saying he had no reason with his teammates and awarding himself a later grade of F after watching film until 2 a.m. Following the game, Brian corrected the grade to D. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was, Brian said. The turnovers and the things like that, a lot of it was just missed timing. We made some pretty good reads. We got my guys some pretty good looks. In terms of the floor game, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. The Lakers react to Brian's return with a mix of excitement and discombobulation, particularly from the newcomers who had never suited up with the fourth leading scorer in NBA history. Nick Young and Xavier Henry both called it a dream come true, but both scorers also acknowledged deferring to Brian all night. D'Antoni repeatedly said the Lakers were disrupted by Brian's return, and while the coach made it pragmatically, the negative connotation will linger until the Lakers adapt. There are high expectations, D'Antoni said. There will be, rightfully so, and he's going to live up to them, but it's just going to take a little bit of time to adjust to it. D'Antoni had created an interesting balance in the Lakers lineup in Brian's absence, getting scoring from multiple spots on the surprisingly deep roster. That balance inevitably will change with the return of Brian and his ball dominating style of play. but Brian hopes it will be an improvement for a team that was only 10 against 9 in his absence. Chemistry will be fine, Brian said. It's not like they haven't been watching me play for 17 years. It's not rocket science. It's not like we were gambler before. Guys know how to play with me. It will be fine. We had plenty of opportunities last night and just couldn't capitalize on them. Brian compared the work ahead to the steady process of chopping down a tree. While he's thrilled to be back in competition, he is not looking forward to the cycle of stretching, ice baths, and non-star travel necessary to thrive in the NBA. The Lakers are headed for a rough stretch later this week, playing four road games in 5 nights starting Friday in Oklahoma City. Brian isn't sure how he will fare under such heavy demands, but he's not interested in half-measures. Once you kind of jump into it, you just got to go for it, Brian said. Just take care of your body, get proper rest, and see what we can do. The next news is North Korea accused Kim Jong-un's uncle of corruption. North Korea confirmed Monday that the powerful uncle of young leader Kim Jong-un has been purged, with state TV airing humiliating images of Jang Song-tak being dragged away by uniformed officers. The official news agency KCNA accused the man once seen as the power behind the throne of being a corrupt, drug-taking womanizer bent on building his own faction in the ruling party. One South Korean analyst predicted a sweeping purge would follow, leaving Kim as the undisputed center of power. KCNA said Jong, once seen as his nephew's mentor, had been stripped of all his posts and of party membership for committing criminal acts and leading a counter-revolutionary faction. It said the decision was taken Sunday at a high-level meeting of the ruling Workers' Party attended by Kim. State TV Monday showed photos of Jung being dragged out of his seat at a meeting by 2 officers, an extremely rare publication of humiliating imagery involving a senior official. It was not certain if the incident happened at Sunday's meeting, but the TV aired other photos from Sunday showing a stunning face Kim sitting at a podium with other top officials. Analysts say Jung's main role had been to ensure a smooth transition after After the experienced Kim Jong-un came to power following the death of his father Kim Jong-il in December 2011, but they say Jong had become increasingly resented by the leader, who is aged about 30. Jong-un has built a solid power base for the past 2 years, and he no longer needed a regent who appeared to be increasingly powerful and threatening, say Paul Hyson, a researcher at the South Sejong Institute think tank. South Korea's spy agency said last week that Jong had apparently been purged and 2 associates executed in the secretive nation's biggest political upheaval since the death of Kim Jong-un. KCNA said the meeting of Sunday confirmed it had eliminated Jong and purged his group, unable to remain an onlooker to its acts any longer. The regime said it removed Jong and his associates for trying to build a faction within the party, and for appointing his followers to top positions to serve his own political aims. The KCNA report said Jong had improper relations with several women and was fined and denied at big parlors and deluxe restaurants, becoming affected by the capitalist way of living. Ideologically sick and extremely idle and easygoing, he used drugs and squandered foreign currency at casinos while he was receiving medical treatment in a foreign country under the care of the party, it said. Jong was also accused of hindering North Korea's state-run production of iron, fertilizer, and Vinalone, a homemade synthetic fiber, by selling off resources at a cheap price and throwing the state financial management system into confusion. Storm of purge coming. Kim Jong-un's takeover was the second dynastic succession in a family that has ruled the isolated nuclear-armed state since 1948 through a pervasive personality cult and with an iron fist. Jong has fallen out of favor before. In 2004, he was understood to have undergone re-education as a steel mill laborer because of suspected corruption, but he made a comeback the following years. Jong expanded his influence rapidly after Kim Jong-un suffered a stroke in 2008, leaving his health impaired. He was appointed vice chairman of the nation's top body, the National Defense Commission, in 2010. His wife, Kim Jong-hui, who is Kim Jong-un's sister, has also long been at the center of power. She was promoted to 4-star general at the same time as Kim Jong-un in 2010. The pair were once viewed as the ultimate power couple in Pyongyang, but in the past year, Kim Jong-hui has been less visible, with reports that she was seriously ill and had sought hospital treatment in Singapore. This time, Jong is gone for good. He will never be allowed into politics again, said Park from the Sejong Institute. Yang Moon-jin, a professor at the University of North Korean Studies in Seoul, said the move could spark a sweeping purge targeting those loyal to Jong. There will be a storm of purge across the country, so Kim Jong-un becomes the one and the only center of power, challenged by no one, he said. Jong had for decades forged an extensive network of friends in the party and the government, said Kim Won-jin, analyst at the Institute for National Security Strategy, and the defector who once worked under Jong handling party finances. After 2 of his associates were executed, now the next target will be those who used to be working at state bodies once supervised by Jong, Kim said, citing the police agency and the state bodies related to finance and the economy. This is a very serious and grave situation, Kim said. Jin Zhenrong, the North ambassador to China, who is known to be a close friend of Jong, is also a potential target of the purge, said Chongsun Zhang, another analyst at the Central Institute. The latest move proves again that fear is a major tool maintain power even under the new leader Kim Jong-un. Jong said, warning of more bloody purges ahead. North and South Korea have remained technically at war since their 1950 to 53 conflict ended with just an armistice and no peace treaty. Seoul was closely monitoring the situation in the north, said Unification Ministry spokesman Kim Yong-do. The last news is Catholic school teacher fired for wedding plans. A gay teacher at a Pennsylvania Catholic School said he was fired after he applied for a marriage license to wed his longtime partner. Michael Griffin worked a Holy Ghost preparatory school for 20 years teaching French and Italian. He said that also administrators, including the principal, knew he was gay. He never had any major conflict with the Catholic administrators until Friday. Griffin said he was fired on Friday after he had emailed administrators to tell them he was going to file for a marriage license and would be slightly late to work. Griffin said the school administrators told him that the mail sent on the school email server made his relationship public, and therefore they had to fire him. If he decided to go through with the marriage. He said, if you go through with that, I have no other choice but to fire you. Griffin said of the ultimatum issued by Holy Ghost Preparatory School President, Father James McCloskey. I was in shock. I had no forewarning. Griffin said McCloskey and the other school administrators knew he was gay, but had never brought it up prior. Griffin and his partner had a civil union 5 years prior, and he wears a wedding ring in school. In a statement sent to NBC News from McCloskey and the Holy Ghost Preparatory School, the school president said Griffin was fired for violating the terms of his contract by deciding to marry a partner of the same sex. Unfortunately, this decision contradicts the terms of his teaching contract at our school, which requires all faculty and staff to follow the teachings of the church as a condition of their employment. McCloskey said in a statement. In discussion with Mr. Griffin, he acknowledged that he was aware of this provision, yet he said that he intended to go ahead with the ceremony. Regretfully, we informed Mr. Griffin that he would have no choice but to terminate his contract effective immediately. Griffin said he has not decided whether he will discuss his termination with a lawyer, but was incredibly saddened by the administrator's actions. Griffin, who also attended Holy Ghost Preparatory School and was raised Catholic, said he loved teaching at the school. Griffin said he has only heard positive messages from faculty and students. There's so much in it that I agree with, Griffin said. We talk about brotherhood with all of these people. I feel like my parents disowned me, but my brothers still stand by me.